Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm just going to click this thingamafooza here. There we go. I'm Abby Haggard. This is my tiny corner of the world. With me, of course, is Mom and a few Care Bears and a bunch of other stuff. Oh, shoes. Abby. AbbyMom.com is now live streaming episode 328. Oh my God, here we go. Chris, I hope you're watching this. I just got a notice here live where I am in my office that Twitch is carrying us. Twitch is carrying us this morning. Yay. So it was going to be something that I was going to announce today that Chris and I have been working on, but Twitch said, get out of my way, lady. I got stuff to talk about. So before I leap in halfway through the conversation, for those of you who are just joining for the first time, what a brilliant idea you had. We are here every Shoes Day, clearly Shoes Day, and Thor's Day. Thor's Day, why do I keep mentioning Thor? I don't know. Let me see. Would it be this? Oh, maybe. I don't know. So here's the thing about the last name Haggard, in case you didn't know or hadn't really thought about it. And why would you? In their prime, in their time, in the Viking Age, which was actually a very short, defined time of going and finding someplace else to live. There's a lot of strife, a lot of stuff going on that made it very, very difficult to stay where they were. Gosh, talk about the times they are repeating themselves. And so their mass exodus was to find someplace else. And sometimes the places they found already had people living there. So there was a whole lot of moving and shuffling and shaping. The business of Vikings are marauders and raiders and terribly bloodthirsty people. Actually, everybody was. Everybody was. It's just that everybody pointed to the Vikings because they had the best marketing, right? Oh, good morning, Daniel. Good morning. And there you are, Chris. There you are. So Chris this morning was modeling for us his new varsity jacket, his new Unforgettables varsity jacket, and it looks stunning on you. What we are doing here twice a week and have been doing twice a week for, well, this is our 328th video, so there we are. What we are doing twice a week is talking about the way life sometimes feels too much of a muchness, the way our best laid plans fall off the edge of the table, the way the things we thought were going to be difficult were easy, and easy became difficult, and how it makes the entire reset process, the entire rethink, where am I, what exactly is going on, learning curve, easier to manage, easier to navigate when we realize that we're not doing alone. We have people who love us, who know us personally or not, who care, who are in the same kind of boat. And the whole idea in this was to reset and rethink what we think this is supposed to be, what we assume it's supposed to be, and make it what it should be. Give it marching orders, create better boundaries, better support systems, better GPS processes, so that we together can get from here all the way over to the other side and have a good time doing it, have a great time getting there. So twice a week, what I do is I jump on and I talk about life hacks and things that I've discovered over the years. And I have an advantage because I'm a military kid. And, when you are picked up and put down and picked up and put down over and over and over again, all the way through your growing years, you become resilient, you become resourceful. You are not quite as tied to everything always has to be exactly the same. Because, by the way, it isn't. And so because I practiced a lot, I'm good at it. Because I have Viking ancestors who have practiced a lot, I'm good at it. Because I am innately silly, and if you aren't sure what I mean by that, you see that outfit? Yeah. If you go on YouTube and you type in, "You can't do that on television, mom," you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And if you go and watch the Care Bears, you watch Friend Bear and Wish Bear and Love a Lot Bear, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about bringing a kind of forgiving joy, forgiving, not forgetting, but forgiving our oopsies as part of our learning curve. And by doing that in the way that I do, I have created a signature. And that is the topic today. The topic is our signature and why it matters. So, and in fact, not just a signature, but our signature moves, because people come to expect certain things of us. They look forward to them or they dread them. For instance, you look forward to me being funny. You don't look forward to me singing. And I forgive you because I've heard me singing too. So the conversation today is two things. The first one is every single one of us has that thing we do. All of us do. We all have a thing that our friends, our family, the people we work with, the people we interact with, they recognize some quality about us. And that quality is what we refer to as that thing that she does, that thing that they do. And it gives people a feeling of comfort and confidence because they know there's something they can expect that they've seen before, heard before, had before, and it makes it feel familiar. And as we all know, familiar feels safe, even when it isn't. Comfort zones feel like comfort zones because they're familiar. Doesn't mean they're the best zone, doesn't mean they're safe, just means we know where the end tables are. We're not going to bump into anything in the dark. We know exactly where we put the eggs in the fridge unless somebody went in and messed around with it. And that gives us a sense of, I got this. I'm walking here. Yeah, I'm good. So the conversation today is not just that thing that you do. Oh my God, have you seen that thing that she does? I don't know how, this is often said to me, I don't know how you manage to maintain your sanity when you consistently do such ridiculously embarrassing things. And I said, well, there's something to be said for expectations. I'm kind of assuming that Tech and I are on a kind of a still getting to know each other level. The the things that used to happen when we were scripting Mom, and well, the whole show. Roger brilliantly would pay attention to the way we were individually and script around that. It's called typecasting. Only most people do it backwards. Roger would say, "Show me what you do. Let me sit in and watch what you are. And then I'm going to write that. So you're going to look brilliant. The show's going to look brilliant. Everybody's going to love it. We're all going to make money and live happily ever after." Wise man. So the other thing, which is the real point of the conversation today, is this. That thing that we do, that quality, that style, that signature move that we're known for is transferable. And I can prove it. How can I prove it? Well, I haven't actually worn that costume in a while. I haven't actually walked onto a television set wearing those gloves, greeting the kids and Les, and saying, well, hello, everyone. I haven't done that in a long time, really long time. And it doesn't matter because I just did it now. And it doesn't get old. It is, in fact, some of the best stuff that never gets old. What is that thing that we do? How is it transferable? because I can use it anywhere. The people who've never seen the show have no idea what happened to my voice when I pitch differently. When I say to people, I have a new thing I'm doing, it's called dearabbymom.com. And since everybody old enough knows that Dear Abby was an advice columnist, the concept that mom would give advice is quite special, really, because it would be fascinating to listen to, not necessarily to follow. The giving of the advice, the concept of writing Dear Abby, Dear Ann Landers, Dear Miss Manners, Dear whatever, is transferable because everybody loves the idea. Everybody thinks it's really cool to write in and get a reply. People go to therapists for serious answers. They go to mentors and coaches. They go and watch stand-up comedy, which is basically philosophy 101, to get answers, to get insights, to breathe differently, to laugh at the things that were stressing us out, to rethink who we are, where we are, and how we navigate what we do. So, how is moving away from the silly, okay, moving toward the everyday? How is that thing you do transferable? I will tell you. It is not the job title that people pay you for. It is not the location of your desk that people pay you for. It is not the fact that you show up exactly at this time and you leave at exactly that time. And in between, you are there pretty much on demand that they pay you for. It looks like it. That's not what they pay you for. They pay you for a quality you bring to solve a problem, to model a solution, move the dot a bit closer to the next dot, to connect, to reframe, to reshape, to redevelop, to represent, to represent change. Every single one of us is good at something in a way that no one else is. I mean, when I was a kid in high school and I took a typing class, I was pretty good. I grew up to be what they call a touch typist. A touch typist means that I know where the keys are on the keyboard and I don't have to look at the keyboard, which means that I can look at the page or I can look at the screen or I can look out the window and I don't have to wonder if I'm hitting the right keys. Is that why people would pay me? No. Why they would pay me is that when they asked me to create content, it wasn't full of a lot of mistakes, and I completed it quickly, and it was fairly well structured. Why? Because I was originally a pretty good writer, and then I worked on it and worked on it and worked on it, and I became a better writer. The other thing I was known for was voice recording. Can I voice record? Sure. Can everybody voice record? Yes. What's the difference between me and everybody else? Too funny that I put the song That Thing You Do from the movie That Thing You Do on. Oh, it's connected, Chris. It's connected. So what I was good at was sight reading. My eyes could move further ahead more quickly, and I could therefore see and absorb what I needed to say very efficiently. Because I could do that, I made fewer mistakes. Because I made fewer mistakes, and I also spoke well, I had a pleasing voice. I didn't sound like I was breaking glass. That's when I'm singing. When I'm singing, it sounds like I'm breaking glass. But I had a good voice. So what people hired me for, excuse me, what people hired me for was more than the voice. It was more than the speed. It was more than the distinctive inflection that I put into the read. On top of that, cake, filling, at the top, icing, cherry, candle, sparkle, is that I saved them money. I saved them trouble and time. They didn't have to do as much editing. The client could come in and ask for 50 different ways to leave your lover, and I could give it to them. They came to me because I provided a very distinctive Abby presentation and layered deliverable. And that was one of therefore, the several reasons that people asked for me. In my tiny corner of the world, there were several really, really talented voice actors. There was one voice actor, his name is Rick Jones. Rick Jones is brilliant, who quite often at award ceremonies, he would beat me for the best female cartoon voice. He would beat me because he could do something I couldn't do. That didn't annoy me at all. No, because he could also win the male voice. So he was known for his ability with a wide range and a couple of other cool vocal tricks that he had up his sleeve that nobody else could match. And that was why people said, we want him. When you look at the Hollywood people, why do they cast this actor or that actress or those musicians or dancers to create the outcome they want? It's because they bring something. Because they can do many things, they can play many different kinds of characters, they're not a one-hit wonder. Their skill, their ability, and I think the one currently most famous for this is Meryl Streep. Her ability to play this incredible range of characters has made her a legend in her time. Beyond that versatility, what she also brings are certain techniques. What she also brings is a certain quality of teamwork, of collaboration. So when the insiders say, I know she's just done 6 pictures, but can somebody please call Streep's people? Why? Because they want her take. They want what she could bring. They want to see how she could transfer who she is, what she can do to this new opportunity. So the reason this is really important right now, it's always been important. It's even more important right now, is this. We are in a time of upheaval. We are in a time of uncertainty. Now, every day is uncertain, and every time is upheaval, because change is change is change. Sometimes, though, it does seem like a whole bunch of changes all got on the invisible bus together, and they all arrived at the same time. Have you ever noticed that? The invisible bus is a trend. If you've ever worked in retail or you've ever worked in hospitality, you're going to nod your head and say, oh my God. So, or entertainment. Here's what happens. There's nothing going on. You're in the store, all you can hear are crickets. There's nothing. You're in the restaurant. You're wondering why you came in. You're at the front desk in the hotel. Nothing. All of a sudden, with no warning, there's 50 people. Boof. Doors open, doors open, doors open, doors open. People, 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 people. And you say to yourself, what, was there a bus? How did this happen? Did they all stop? Did they all get up out of their chairs and say, I think I'm going to go and do this now? And they all stopped at the same traffic light. When it turned green, they all crossed the street and walked in. Is that what happened? So, and especially in the restaurant industry, everybody comes at exactly the same time. And then they're all finished at exactly the same time. They all want their bill at the same time. And then they're all gone at the same time. And everybody's standing in the restaurant is going, what the hell was that? And in retail, in the store, all of a sudden, busy, 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 and all of a sudden gone. Is that it? Was that the rush? Was that the rush today? We are in that moment. An invisible bus full of climate, full of natural disasters, full of people outraged and indignant and and chin jutted, wanting to get even, and it's my turn, and shoving and pushing. Imagine that bus ride. Okay, they just all got off the bus, and they're all marching around and demanding action. Everybody's name is Karen, even the men. Everybody's called Karen because they all want to speak to the manager. Okay, that's exhausting. That's just exhausting. And we can feel ill-equipped to handle it. We can feel overwhelmed. We can feel nervous. We can, and many, many have, say, you know what, that's it, I quit. I'll find something else. And suddenly there aren't any people ready and willing and waiting to serve us and look after us and sell us things and service our cars and process our application. Because everybody got fed up with the nonsense and went home. That too will change when they realize that there's nothing to do at home. And they have to start over. So in this turmoil and upheaval and uncertainty, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of, if we weren't depressed before, we are now. If we weren't anxious before, if we weren't feeling alone and overwhelmed and unloved before, we do now. How do we deal with that? And the big, quickest way to deal with it is to go back to the sense of who we are. Not to take stock, not to say what's wrong with you. Why can't you lose that extra 5 pounds? That's not the point. The point is to say, you're awesome. You're amazing. You made it through all those previous days. You've come through the losses and the gains and the turnarounds and the falling flat and getting up. You're incredible. And here you are, and you're ready to try again. And you look around and you say, I don't know all this new technology. Here, I have this device here. It has my hood flamingo, my hood ornament flamingo on it as a screensaver. And I am 83% sure I know how to use it. It's that 17% that kind of sneaks up on me and gives me a little nudge every now and then that makes me very nervous. What I know, though, instead of getting all anxious and frustrated about it, although I do get anxious and frustrated about it, is that I have friends. I have people. I have people, darling. I have people who can say, oh, for God's sake, give me that. Here, let me show you how to do it. First of all, turn it on. Oh, second, oh my God, it just occurred to me, plug it in. What am I at? Oh, dear. Okay, I'm plugging it in. Unplug that, plug this in. There we go. Boop. It has such a little thing going on. So what can I transfer? And how can I talk you through the confusion about this? I'm going to give you an example that's real life, real time. Okay. Brilliant friend of mine, former client, now a friend and a colleague, a therapist whose specialty is systems therapy, family systems therapy, organizational systems therapy. A system is something that is run by people. When people are not getting along, when people are not in line with the work that needs doing, the system stumbles and breaks down. And her vast skill is going in, looking at it, seeing where the canary is in the coal mine, seeing where the essential breakdown in cause and effect exists, walk everybody through it. There's no blame, there's no shame, there's no guilt. When you're out of alignment, you're out of alignment. You take your car to get your tires aligned. The tires aren't saying, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed." No, it happens. Life happens. And we were working on a project together, and she said, I've been called in to do a very interesting task, and I kind of want you to, you know, be with me virtually on this, because it's so interesting to examine and explore, and then process, be part of that process. She was hired to go into a very uh, high level employment agency, executive search, executive services. And the people at this agency who were there for her presentation were people who had been downsized, whose businesses, not their own business, not something they owned, but the vice president of something in a major corporation, or the vice president of something in a not necessarily a major corporation, but a corporation that had previously been doing well and suddenly shuttered its doors. And there's this odd Viking language seeping into everything now. When they hire people today, it's called onboarding. And when they let people go today, it's called offboarding. So you're on board or you're off board. Go Vikings. And so what they were discovering, these executives who had been set adrift, more and more consistently, they were coming in with no idea how to present themselves and represent themselves to the world without the title that had been associated with their name and with their sense of who they are for years, for decades, for some of them. And when she had a chance to take a break, and she reached out again to me, and she said the most amazing thing. When I arrived for the appointment, I was greeted at the door by somebody who was clearly one of these people, very very well turned out, very articulate, very very polished. Greeted me, "You must be Dr. So and so." Put out the hand to shake hands, and introduced himself as, and I'll just can't remember the name now, Bob Jones, Senior Vice President Marketing of blah blah. Vice Bob Jones, Senior VP Marketing, blah blah. And then he froze. He had her hand in his. He was shaking it as he spoke, as he heard himself and realized who he was talking to, why she was there, why he was there. He froze. And she was able to dance them through the awkward moment. Why do you think he froze? Because he had introduced himself as someone he no longer was. He realized, and in their conversation, my great, brilliant, talented friend and this group of people, throughout the session that she was hosting, they all realized that they had joined their sense of who they were with what they did for that entity. Not their sense of who they were or are and what their talent is, but that they did it for that company. That title with the name of that company represented the business card printed by the company, and you can find him on the 7th floor corner office. But that's not who he is. That's not what his superpower is. That thing that he does, he can do anywhere. What has to happen is pivotry, a mental reset. That I am has not changed. That I do has not changed. that I am and do brilliantly, uniquely, iconically has not changed. All that has changed is where. All that has changed is with whom. All that has changed is for what purpose. But nothing that is innately us, that is absolutely fabulously us, is lost. It's always us. And that means we can do that, be that, bring that, give that anywhere. The first step is recognizing it. The second step is saying, all right, where can I do it? Who do I absolutely need? What do I have to acquire to make it happen? Do I have to acquire new skills? Maybe, maybe not. Can I find somebody who has the skills I don't have? Of course I can. I did not single-handedly. All I did was show up, learn the lines, rehearse with everybody, and be on time. The rest of the stuff that I delivered was all me. Abby, mom, was born here. After all, I actually bought the outfit. I went and found the outfit. I can't believe I did that. I found the dress. 2 weeks later, I found the apron. I was walking by a retro clothing store. The wig was on the mannequin in the window. I went, oh my God, that's the wig. That's the hair. Walked in and I said, I don't care how much it is. I need that wig. We can't sell that. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. Don't make me bring the head of programming from CTV. Yes, you can. And they did. Which is why, in the fullness of things, people say, well, we can get another mom. No, you can't. Well, yeah, sure you can. Sure you can. Get another mom. You can't get that one. Because that one's me. So this is what I can bring. I can bring a dipsy doodle maternal influence. I can bring the military brat strategies. I can bring the lifetime gypsy global child point of view. I can bring the resilience and the resourcefulness and the determination that I'm going to have a great day or know the reason why. I can bring that anywhere, anytime, no matter what. Why? Because it's who I am. It's that thing I do. And there are people who just think it's fabulous. God bless every single one of them. So with that in mind, back in October, it occurred to me that I needed to organize a group of people who derive a great deal of joy and happiness and satisfaction and a feeling of safety and sanctuary and fun because of their love of nostalgia, because of their love of the things they remember for when they were a kid, before they were expected to grow up and show up and shave and face the front and put on suits and make hard decisions. When they were still kids and life seemed simpler, even when things were tough, when there was financial hardship, when there were relationship hardships, when there was uncertainty. I mean, I'm resilient now and I'm resourceful now because we moved all the time. And that's difficult for anyone at any age to feel okay within when all of the familiar landmarks that keep us safe go away. If every day the predator or the prey on the Serengeti had to build a new den, a new place to be safe every day, my God, how exhausting. The herds that migrate, well, they don't migrate every day. They migrate a couple of times a year. They set up camp. They find a safe space And that becomes their normal until it's the next time. And then they know how to do the move. We always find some place where we can do that thing we do without realizing it. My conversation with you is to give you the opportunity to say, huh, you know what? She's right. That is what I do every time. Now, this setup is brand new in this sweet, lovely, magical apartment. The purpose is the same as the previous office. The talking to you is the same. The tools are different. The purpose hasn't changed. My excitement at the opportunity to share insights with you hasn't changed. Your need, your anticipation for, your justification for taking the time to spend with me hasn't changed. Because there is something that I bring that makes you say, all righty then. All right. All right. What she said. Yeah. It's refilling your tank. It's giving you the reset structure and the opportunity to practice listening to the way you think and feel and making the decision to act on it. Looking at every time you've said it, well, it's not that bad. And understanding that you have the permission to say, yes, it is. It is not good enough. And I'm going to do something about it. Do you have any idea how? Nope. That's part two. At least I know I want to. And then that's where I come in. That's where we have the conversation. You can ask Mom or you can ask Abby, depending on the kind of answer you want, depending on how serious it is, depending on whether it's entertainment or it's empowerment. I can do both. That's what all of my moving around has given me the ability to do. That is my superpower. I can help you rethink and reset and have fun doing it. So Chris and I were talking about this, and I said, you know what we need to do? We need to take advantage of the fact that you are Mr. Trivia. And I don't mean Mr. Trivial. He's not trivial. But Chris has this encyclopedic memory for all this fabulous stuff, all the nostalgia, all the different categories, all the different layers. And if he doesn't know a thing, he knows 19 people who do. Okay, I know none of that. And Chris at one point very kindly said, well, that's not your thing. See, you're the collectible. You're the comic relief. You're the wisdom of the ages. And I said, you better not be calling me old. And he said, no, no. So together, we're going to look for a way to do that. How do we do that? What can we talk about? We can talk about anything that affords us the opportunity to weigh in on something that's a behind the scenes bit of knowledge and answer the kinds of questions that somebody like Chris would have that all of you are interested in. And we can have roundtable discussions, and you can comment live. You can do this. And we can have an exciting and active and interactive debate, conversation, exchange for free. I found the platform. Good morning, Stephanie. I found the platform, and I am investigating it to see exactly how far out of my grasp it is and how easily we can get involved in doing that. And one of the things that's very cool on this platform, and it's not instead of this, it's part of this. What's very cool on this platform is that it has merchandise available. You're going to be able to get Unforgettables merchandise. It gives us an opportunity to have contests. It gives us an opportunity to have exchanges. It gives us an opportunity to say, I'm going to vote. Can I be more specific about what? What can I be more specific about, Stephanie? Give me a more specific question. So we're going to, anyway, until Stephanie replies and it pops up, and that'll just be a second. What Chris and I are doing is we are investigating this way to add a layer to the exponential fun that we are having as part of the Unforgettables group. Also, with my friends on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, and Chris's friends and all your friends who are going to be able to say, oh, this is a riot. It's about time that they did this. So this is our agenda. I wanted to know what it is you're starting to do. Well, your timing is perfect. What it is we're going to do is we're going to take exactly this kind of exchange, and we're going to make it more user-friendly, more interactive, more move off and talk amongst yourselves, to make it into a real community, a real collaboration in a family dynamic that is not limited by physical location. And there are two reasons for the not limited by physical location. The first one is that I am a global child. I belong to several BRATS organizations. BRAT is an acronym for military kids. And one of them that sums it up perfectly is I belong to something called Brats Without Borders. While we have lived and been transferred to and from pretty much every country in the world, we all call someplace home. We just don't have any boundaries between them. We know that we're going to need our passport to go there. We know we're going to need to have shots to go there. We know that we're going to need to pack these things, and we don't know how long we're going. We do know how and what it takes to get there. That's a lot of work. But thanks to technology now, Stephanie, what we have is the ability to transfer locations with a click of a button. I'm talking to you, Stephanie. Where are you? Can you let me know where you are? Which country? I'm in Ottawa, Canada. I'm in the New York City time zone, and I am broadcasting to anywhere that Facebook, that YouTube, that Twitch, that Restream can reach, because I am on all those platforms. I'm also on LinkedIn. All of these platforms give me the opportunity to be with you where you are. I've had podcasts in the past. I've now started a channel on YouTube, Narcissistic Studios. I've had a support group for survivors on Facebook for 4 years this month. I sincerely want to help people. I'm told a fairly decent digital artist. I'm in Ottawa. Well, young lady, you and I obviously have to speak at a higher level. How about that? So the purpose, the goal, Stephanie, is this. Good morning, Sky. The purpose, Stephanie, is to create a sense of family, to create a sense of community based on our shared enjoyment of the entertainments, of the activities that have brought us joy from childhood. To talk about them, to attend the events, to be part of activities, and then share back here amongst our Unforgettables friends and family and loved ones what that was like. Why? Because we are no longer living exclusively in physical neighborhoods. We're no longer the 93rd Street regulars. We are now the global regulars. We are now the recreation and the reinvention and the rebirth of the early pioneers who said, Huh, that looks like a good place to park. Wouldn't it be great? Let's do this, Stephanie. Let's not use the perfect future subjunctive. Let's not say that would be great. Let's say that is great. Let's say that is where we are in the first formative stages. You want to break the mold of victimhood. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And be more about volunteer. You can be a victim, you can be a volunteer, and you can be a Viking. Want to guess which one? Victim? No. Volunteer? Nah. Viking. Ah, I'll take two. So, Stephanie, you and I will talk at a higher level. If we're probably neighbors. Wouldn't it be funny? We'll get together and we'll chat and we'll say, "Oh my gosh, how do we change the world?" The whole idea, Stephanie, with the Unforgettables group is, and since you're new to this, I'm excited to be able to walk you through it for other people who are not actually asking the question. Unforgettables are memories we hold, things we cherish, people who care, people who step up, lean in, and aim for where they want to be. We are the unforgettables. My ancestry is unforgettable. My career path is unforgettable. You who choose to take your time out of your day to watch my videos, to become my friend on social media, you, for me, with me, are unforgettable. The gamers and the cosplayers and the collectors and the event planners and the buyers and sellers and traders and storytellers and the celebrities and the shows and the memories and the music and the dance and the art form and the innovations that we bring. These are the unforgettables. Good morning, Warren. You're going to laugh when you see some of my recent images, given the Ottawa South, aren't they? So everybody who just joined us, I have just bumped into somebody here. Her name is Stephanie Larocque. We have just formally and officially met here during this broadcast this morning, and we're going to meet in person because she happens to live in Ottawa and she's very keen to find out more about us, about the Unforgettables. If not me, then who? Stephanie, if not we, then who? So what do we got here? Best viewers on Bot Power Online. Bot Power Online. All right then. All right then. We are getting so much that is really great and different this morning. And I'm excited. And Chris, I know you're watching. And Sky, I know you're watching. And Warren, of course, I know you're watching. This is very, very interesting to see the new faces and the new voices, and especially the curiosity. I believe firmly, strongly, based on my upbringing, that curiosity is our greatest asset. It's not our superpower. It is the turbo, it is the nitrous that we pump into these little engines that could. Because when we're curious, we're ready. And that means so much. It means everything. So the conversation today, I don't want to go too long. The conversation today has been on the subject of everyone needs that thing that you do. Everyone needs what you bring that is distinctly and uniquely you. Everyone needs the opportunity to say to a relative stranger, how's your day on a scale of 1 to 10? And create a conversation. Everyone needs to say, wow, can you believe that snow? Were you out in it today? Everyone needs to say, oh my gosh, did you see the sales? Everyone needs to have the ability to make that noise, to create that outreach. Why? Because we are herd animals. We are tribal. We have a rare and distinct skill and talent. And it is blossoming and flourishing when there are many of us making light the work. Our superpower, the thing that we uniquely bring, is a thread, and we weave it into our collective tapestry together. And then the collective tapestry that we have, this beautiful, rich, dynamic, vibrant tapestry, becomes not merely that thing that we do, not merely our history. It brings us comfort. It sets us apart. It serves as a welcoming flag to say, we're over here. Here we are. And it does not have to be limited by physical boundary. I speak from a place of knowing this from the age of 3 months. I don't have a distinct memory of 3 months, but I do know that 3 months old was my age when I got on the first airplane because we were being transferred. And I understand that I'm still walking here. I'm still doing that thing that I do. It's not limited by time or space or costume. And we're going to do that together. Chris and I are working on this rollout of this one aspect of it. We have the Unforgettables group. For those of you who are new to this concept, imagine a Facebook group that began on the 15th of November. Me, I did it. I started it. I figured it out. Oh my God. Started the group on the 15th of November. And by the 15th of January, that would be 2 months, we had 600 members. And how did that happen? We asked our friends to check it out. And when they checked it out, they said, hell yeah. And now that we have 600, I am asking them, the new 600s, the new 50s, the new 20s, the new 40s, the new 85s. Every time I put up a new list and say, these are the new ones, tell your friends. This is an interactive group. We want you to bring your unforgettable moments and memories and conversations and engage. And you know what? They are. Why? Because engaging and empowering and educating and entertaining is our superpower collectively. And we can transfer that anywhere. It's that thing that we do. So when we shut down this little chat today, and we have the weekend ahead of us, February is looming, take a moment. Think about that thing that you do. If you're not sure what it is, ask your friends. What's that thing that I do? Because we can take that anywhere. It's portable. And it is applicable anywhere. You can tell me I'm looking for this is what I do, and I can tell you all the places you can apply it. Because you don't have to be a secretary. You don't have to be a receptionist. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a janitor or an engineer or a clerk. You don't have to be a waiter or a pilot. You just have to tell me that thing that you do. And then we talk about where you'd like to apply it. And all we do is adjust your GPS and you're on your way. I've been doing it my entire life. So I'm pretty good at it. So between now and Tuesday, Stephanie, you have stuff, I have stuff, we have stuff. In that meantime, and Chris and I have this thing we're working on. It's so exciting. In between now and next week, here's the drill. For the newcomers, here's the drill. Number one, be good to you. Why? You deserve it. Number two, remember to hug your loved ones. Why? Because they deserve it too. And last but not least, before I go, I want to say, as I always do, thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being curious. Thank you for saying, I'm going to check this out. Thank you for deciding to give your time to this experience. If it's the first time, Shazam. If it's the millionth time, you're the best. Because why? Because this doesn't work without you. It's a team thing. Okay? And I will catch you next time.